Do you want to take 4 prize cards in just one turn in every single game you play? Do you want to farm Roaring Moons and all those heavy 2 prizers out there right now? Do you just like having fun in the Pokemon TCG? Well, if the answer to any of those questions is yes, stick around because this one is gonna be crazy. This insane deck built by none other than Azul GG is a great play right now because you can absolutely farm Roaring Moons with this deck. Now this deck is built around 2 central cards, one the Alolan Raticate which puts damage counter on your opponent's active Pokemon till their remaining HP is 10, and second, the Crobat with its attack critical bite which deals 30 damage to any of your opponent's Pokemon benched or active, and if you knock out your opponent's Pokemon this way, you get 2 extra prize cards. Now combine that with Medicham V, whose attack Yoga Loop puts 20 damage on your opponent's Pokemon and allows you to take 1 extra turn if you knock them out. So you take 2 prize cards with Medicham V and then 4 more with the Crobat, and then basically in just 1 turn you're cleaning up the entire game. The other Pokemon in this deck is the Zubat, Golbat and Crobat line. Zubat and Crobat both have 0 retreat cost, which is why we play Feather Ball, and they are great pivot Pokemon in this deck. And Golbat allows you to draw 3 extra cards with its ability when you evolve it from Zubat. Now in the early game, you're going to play more with Rattata and Raticate, which we have a 4-3 line of, and you're going to deal damage to your opponent's Pokemon and get damage on board, and then clean up later with Crobat. Now the idea of this deck is to fall behind, which is why we play 4 Reversal Energy. Also you have Double Turbo Energy and Dark Energy which can be accelerated using the Dark Patch onto your Pokemon. Double Turbo and Dark Energy go well when you're ahead on prize cards, and when you're falling behind you use Reversal. We also play 3 Counter Catcher because you're generally falling behind, and also the Iono which disrupts your opponent's hand. Bruno is another great draw supporter which allows you to draw 7 cards when your Pokemon gets knocked out in your turn. We play 2 Artazon because we want to get a lot of things on board. Golbat again is Level Ball searchable, and we have 4 other Nest Balls, so you're going to want to get a board state with 2 Rattata, something like 3 Zubat, and in the later game, you're going to want to start getting those Crobats on board. Now this deck does suffer against Lost Box, but with that not being so common in the meta right now, you're going to have an absolute blast. And let's see how this deck performs. Here we are, hopping into our very first game with Rats and Bats. This one's gonna be a doozy. So with this deck, you would always like to go first because you have so many Pokemon that you want to get on board. And you also want your opponent to take the first knockout so you can get all those reversal energies working. Okay, so from the coin, it feels like we're up against Roaring Moon. That would be great. First game against Moon. So in the 7 games that I've played against Moon so far, I have lost 1 and won 6 others. And the one that I lost is because I didn't draw so well, but this deck absolutely, destroys Roaring Moon. Okay, so that's great. We get Zubat, we get Greninja, there's also a Level Ball. So not the best hand, but not the worst either. We also don't play any Battle VIP pass in this deck because I don't think you need all of that with Artazon, so many Nest Ball, Feather Balls, and so on. Okay, so let's get a Rattata on board because that's what we want to start out with using the Raticate. Let's conceal cards, discard a Dark Energy. And okay, we got a DT that could be good. If we can get a Dark Patch and a DT onto our Raticate next turn, we could start taking knockouts. So I'm benching another Zubat. Nothing much I can do other, so I'll just end turn. Yep. End turn. Yep. So they start out with the Rotom V. This is an interesting deck. I haven't seen Moon being played with Rotom V too often. Usually they go the Squawk Greninja, that's the turbo build. That's so popular right now. But this could be interesting. Okay. 2 energies in the discard pile. Hopefully they take the knockout. Let's see what they get. Roaring Moon. So probably they don't have a Squawkabilly, or they have too many important cards. I see. So Forest Seal Stone is why they would want to play the Rotom V. Okay. There comes the instant booster energy. Now it's great if they attach this before you attack with Raticate, because if they attach it afterwards, then you need 2 critical bites to knock out the Roaring Moon because they get an additional 30 HP. So yeah, this is always good to see the attachment before. and energy also being accelerated onto the same Roaring Moon, which is great. Let's see what they get with the stone here. It's going to be the Billy. Okay, so they also play the Billy. One more energy into the discard. So they have had a good turn so far. Do they get a Sada? They do get a Dark Patch, so if they also have a switch, they do. Perfect. So my Zubat's going down this turn, which is great. So if I can get a Raticate on board next turn, it's gonna be great. And we can also use Bruno or the Iono. I would love to use the Bruno because I can get 7 cards if they knock me out. Which I think they will. There it is. Okay. So there goes our Zubat, but that is exactly what we wanted. So promoting the Zubat because I can always retreat that. Yeah, I don't mind attaching the reversal to the Rattata here. With this Level Ball, I could get something like a Golbat, which gives me 3 additional cards to look at. So let's retreat into our Rattata, evolve into Golbat, see what we get out of this. Unfortunately, another Zubat, but we can use concealed cards and then Bruno after. I think that's the right sequence to use. Okay, so 2 Brunos. I'm benching a Zubat and I'm debating whether to use the counter catcher right now to get the Squawkabilly into the active. Since if I don't draw Raticate off of this Bruno, but okay, might as well. Okay, so we have the Raticate, beautiful. So we can attack with it this turn. We have another Zubat that we can get onto our bench. I'm gonna get another Rattata right now because I want to damage 2 Pokemon. So 1 Roaring Moon with this Raticate, and which will get knocked out, no doubt. And let's put 1 energy with the Dark Patch onto a Zubat. Or the Golbat, yeah. And let's Super Fang. 280 damage, that's right. Now we can either Yoga Loop them or we can attack them with Critical Bite and take 4 prize cards. Okay, it's gonna be interesting to see how they react to this. There's the Earthen Vessel. Probably have to retreat this Roaring Moon. If they use Switch Card, that's a big problem because that heals 30 damage. We don't want that happening. Let's see. Pokestop, Mills Asada. I love to see that. Brood Bonnet, not so important in this game. They don't have the Switch Card. Good, let's go. And I can use Bruno again, or I could Iono them in this turn actually because they have 4 prizes remaining. Okay, let's see what we top deck here. It's a counter catcher. Perfect. So with this, I can drag the Billy into the active, or Rotom V, doesn't really matter. Maybe the Billy. Actually, maybe the Rotom V. Okay, yeah. Billy is fine. Do I Bruno or Iono? Let's Iono because we also don't want them to draw too much or have too many cards in hand. And we've got another Raticate, beautiful. We also have the DTE, so I can retreat my Zubat into the Raticate, attach DTE for a turn. And Golbat, one more. Discrete draw, yes. 2 more cards. We have 3 Golbats on board now, so we're really in a very, very good position. And is there something else I want to do? Just looking at my discard pile. Yeah, nothing really that I need to Super Rod back in right now. So I can just Super Fang the Squawkabilly. And then hopefully on next turn I can use Medicham's Yoga Loop to knock out the Billy or the Roaring Moon and then use Critical Bite, which would be insane. But for that, they need to knock out my Raticate this turn, which I think they will, right? Yeah, I think so. I don't mind them burning a switch card, one more switch card right now, or using another switch card right now, because we still have 2 Pokemon that need to be healed with switch card in order for Yoga Loop or Critical Bite to not work, and they don't have it. That's even better. Okay, Roaring Moon in the active. Oh, without the stadium, they're not even knocking out my Raticate this turn, but they do have it. Okay. Pokestop, let's say. Oh, they have 2 switch cards. Now, the absolutely crucial play for them is to heal up the Roaring Moon, heal up the Squawkabilly. But they misplayed. That's definitely a misplay. With 2 switch cards, they could have easily gotten into a winning position there. But they didn't, which is fine. Huh. They also didn't knock me out, which is slightly weird to me. Let's see. Now I don't want them healing with switch cards, so it's probably best to attack with Crobat this turn and go ahead on prize cards and then clean up with Medicham V later. Yeah, I think that might be the way to go. Worst case, we have our other Crobat, which deals 100 damage, and we can take out the remaining Pokemon which has been healed by switch card with that. So let's Super Rod back in 1 Zubat. Let's use Level Ball to get that Zubat into play. Now we want to set up a board state with 4 or more Crobats. We have no more use for Raticates really. And let's Iono them down to 4, get rid of all those switch cards, put them at the bottom of their deck. They could have really won the game if they had used them last turn, but they didn't. Maybe they didn't know what they were going up against. That's a possibility. Another great thing is that this deck isn't too popular right now. We're paying a big retreat cost, but Raticate has done its job. Let's send in the Crobat. We can use our Heavy Ball to get... There's 1 Rattata that's priced, so let's get that back in. We can use Level Ball next turn to get Golbat. And let's just use Critical Bite right now. Let's KO the Roaring Moon, because that's definitely the biggest threat. Squawkabilly can be dealt with later. And there you go, 4 prize cards. Isn't that amazing? We get a DT and a Nest Ball, so we can just clean up the game if they don't heal the Squawkabilly this turn with Medicham. Or we even have this Crobat that we can attach the double turbo energy to. What I'm scared of is something like a hand disruption card like Iono here. That would send me down to 2, and then my reversal energies also don't work, so that's not ideal. I would have loved to have 1 energy stay on the Raticate, because with its first attack you can get any card from your deck, which is always nice in scenarios where you're disrupted. Okay, they mill a boss. Nice. They can knock out this Crobat. I have no more use for it because it has the reversal energy, which is useless right now. Let's see what they do. Oh, so they're probably gonna get the Iono off of this Lumineon. That's scary. Okay. Yeah, there's the Iono. We could be in a sticky situation here. Oh, there goes my beautiful hand. No. Okay, let's see what we draw. Ah, we got the DT. Okay, nothing to worry about. We're winning this game. That was super lucky there. Maybe I could have played better. Attached energy preemptively, but I think I attached to Crobat last turn. I don't think I could have. Yeah, wonder how could I have played that better. Let me know in the comments down below if you know how I could have done that better, to prevent myself from getting into a situation where I'm Iono'd and I draw nothing. Now we just promote our Crobat. Beautiful, we attach the DTE. And critical bite to knock out the Squawkabilly. Can draw 4 more prize cards, but we only have 2 left. So we win. Yep. There it goes. All prize cards taken. First win against the moon. Let's hop into game number 2. Okay, going strong into game number 2. Here it goes. Ah, looks like it's Charizard. Perfect. That's another deck that we're really strong against, because they have no Greninja. Greninja is a big threat to this deck. Yeah, if you're playing against Qianpao, you're probably going to lose. Maybe it's best to add a Manaphy, drop something like a Nest Ball. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe you could add a Manaphy. I haven't tried that yet. Okay, so they go first, which is not great, but okay. We have a good hand, not that bad. Ideally, you would like to concealed cards get some dark energies in the initial turns into your discard pile, so it's okay if Greninja goes down. I'm not too worried about that. We have one nest, and they mulligan 3 times. Okay, now that's sad, but good for us. Charmander. I wonder why TCG Live didn't show me their mulligan hands 3 times. It has this weird bug sometimes. I'm really frustrating. Okay, but let's grab a Rattata. Let's check our prizes. We have Rattatas, Zubats, Raticates, 4 Golbats, 2 of the Venomous Fang Crobats. So the other 2 Crobats with Wing Attack and their ability, which allows you to draw 2 cards, are prized. So with Level Ball, I can get another Zubat in play. Yep, thin out my deck a little bit. I could use this last Level Ball to get a Rattata, which I guess probably is the way to go. Just allows you to thin out 2 more cards if they Iono me next turn. We have 1 Reversal Energy prized, so have to be careful about that. I can Dark Patch an energy onto the Rattata this turn. Can attach TTE for next turn, and then start using Super Fang to deal damage. There comes the Ultra Ball. Probably gonna get them a Lumineon, then Arven, then Charizard. Yep, yeah, there you go. So they have turn 1 Charizard. Charmeleon, they also have that in hand. Lumineon, probably gonna get them an Arven. Oh, they get Iono? Weird. Did not expect that, but probably this is not Arvenzard. Maybe that's some variant of it. We got an even better hand, which I'm super happy to see. Lost the counter catcher there though, but not too bad. Retreat Charmander into the Entei. Can they attack me? Maybe not, right? Because they manually attached the Entei. Yeah. Ah, that's weird. Okay. So there's our DTE. All we need now is a Raticate, so we can start putting damage on board. Level Ball gets me another Golbat. Gonna thin my deck out before using Iono. Come on, Raticate. Nope, no Raticate, but we can get another Zubat in to play. Okay. So now let's just Iono them. If you have the choice of using Feather Ball versus Nest Ball, always use the Nest Ball first, because Feather Ball can get you Crobats later. Yeah, I really want to see the Raticate, so... Or maybe I just end turn here. Because even if I do get the Raticate now, I'm not going to be able to switch out my Greninja. Okay, let's see what we have here. Jirachi now. Artazon, which is good. If my Greninja gets knocked out this turn, I can get another basic Pokemon in play. Thin out my deck even more before using this Iono. And okay, good. My Greninja goes down. Just what we want to see. I'm gonna promote the Rattata because there's really no point in promoting the Zubat right now. We have to get Raticate on board this turn, otherwise we're probably gonna lose if we don't. Yep, DT goes onto there. Do I want to counter catcher? Maybe not. So another reason why I promoted the Rattata over there is because it had a Dark Energy attached. So if you don't get a Raticate, you can retreat and get that Dark Energy in the discard pile because we have more Dark Patches left. But we do get a Raticate, which is great. And I can now Super Fang their Entei. So OBS had a weird glitch over there. So basically, I attacked with the Raticate, put damage onto their Entei, and now they're knocking me out. So that half a minute of gameplay is gone. But it's not too bad. Now I could promote the Crobat. They also got a Charizard onto board during their turn. I'm promoting my Crobat now. Yep. Just making sure that the game is being recorded right now, which it is. Okay, so let's Dark Patch. Let's Dark Patch onto the Rattata. Get ourselves another Raticate into play. And let's go for discrete draw because we want to draw counter catchers and get their Charizard into the active. Unfortunately for us, no Charizard. But maybe off of this Iono, we can get ourselves a counter catcher. I can thin my deck out just a little bit more. That's important because all of these cards are now going to go on the bottom of my deck, which is why even though I can't play the Golbat, it's good to get that on board. I could put another Rattata into play, but don't really want to do that. Let's see, yeah. Okay. So yeah, let's just go ahead and Iono them down to 4 and us to 6. And hopefully we get a counter catcher, and there it is. So we have the counter catcher, we have the reversal energy. We also have another Crobat. That is beautiful. So now I can counter catcher up their Charizard, put damage onto it with the Raticate. It would have probably been better in hindsight to attach the DTE. So yeah, like I said, both of our Crobats are prized. Would have been better to attach the DTE onto the Raticate, before Ionoing, but didn't really know whether I was going to draw into a counter catcher, so probably not the best to do that. Fail the Nest Ball. Yep. And counter catcher used. I could get the Lumineon instead of the Charizard. Yeah. Do I want to do that? Yes, probably I do, because they need to have an energy now in order to retreat the Lumineon. And I could go into my other Raticate here, drop the reversal energy onto that, and Super Fang them. Okay, now we're in a position where if our Raticate gets knocked out, we can Yoga Loop with Medicham and then use Critical Bite on the subsequent turn. But before that, we need to draw into something like a Bruno here. That'll help us get there. They have the Pidgeot also now. So yeah, it's gonna be hard to disrupt them, but they had no switch cards, it's just the escape rope, so I can just give them my Zubat here, or this Crobat. Let's see, what do I give them? Yeah, maybe I just give them the Raticate, because now that I have damage on 2 Pokemon. And in comes the Charmander. Okay, so they're giving me the Charmander. Weird move, but okay. And they retreated. Are they like out of energy or something? Maybe they want to Super Rod energy back in so that they have some energy if they trap their Lumineon again. Is that the reason? Huh. They boss up my Crobat. That's unfortunate, but okay. I top deck a Bruno, which is awesome. So evolving into this Crobat here. And now I can Bruno for a fresh new hand of 7 cards, which is absolutely beautiful. Perfect. And I get the Medicham. Unfortunately, I do not have a DTE. Otherwise, I could have ended things this turn using Yoga Loop and then Reversal Energy onto my Crobat. But I can definitely search for one. So I'm debating whether or not to bench the Medicham V here and try to go for the Yoga Loop play. Yeah, if we don't draw the energy, that's probably going to be bad. So my idea was to retreat into the Medicham, then evolve into the Golbat and draw 3. But yeah, good thing I didn't, because I did not get DT. I could take 4 prize cards this turn and use Medicham in the later turn to clean up. Okay, so let's just Critical Bite. Knock out the Entei. Get rid of 1 more attacker. And I draw 4 prize cards. Let's see if we can get any Crobats off of this. And we have 2 Crobats. So that's looking great for us. Now we can definitely draw into our DT, but we get Ionoed. That's very, very unfortunate. Let's see what we have. We have the Bruno. Not bad, not bad. They have the Manaphy, but not gonna matter too much if I get to Yoga Loop. Critical Bite won't work anymore, but not like I was gonna go for that play anyway. Okay, so drawing something off of the quick search. Let's see what it is. Huh. Okay, that's pretty weird. They quick searched but didn't play it this turn. That could only mean it was Yeah, maybe another supporter card like a boss because they'd already played one that turn. And now unfortunately, although I have a DT, since I have a Raticate promoted and Reversal Energy doesn't work anymore, I can't really do the Medicham play this turn. Because Raticate has a 3 retreat cost. Yeah, so that's pretty unfortunate. I could just start evolving into Crobats and thin out my deck even more for the Medicham play next turn. Okay, drastic draw gets me 3. Nothing good there. I could also not care about getting the critical bite Crobat into play now. Also, I don't have any of them, but I do have the Super Rod. Because just attaching a DT to the Crobat can help me clean up the game with its second attack, or with its only attack, wing attack, which does 100 damage. So I just put damage counters on my opponent this turn, and next turn I clean up either with the Crobat or the Medicham. I'm spoiled for choice. All I need is a DT now. Unless they have something like a penny which they use to pick up their Charizard, in which case I'd be in big trouble. So they just end their turn, which is smart because they think I could go for the Reversal Energy play afterwards if I have that. But unfortunately, they don't know that I can just DT this now, retreat into the Crobat, and just finish it off with a wing attack. So maybe they counted my DTs, thought that I had only Reversal Energy left, maybe. But we take our second up. Let's go. Good. Very, very good. So that was a crazy game, but glad we managed to pull through in the end. So that was it for today. Those were our 2 games. I hope you really enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you're new. Definitely try out this deck. Let me know how it goes for you and leave a comment down below telling me your experience with it and what you would like to change. And I'll try to respond to every single one of those comments. I'll see you next time on another episode of 150 and more. Till then, take care.